Manifestation. And yes, I mean the woo-woo type. Uh, video came up today that I was listening to and made me think a lot about it. And it's a subject I've thought about before, and I've uh, dove into that subject several times from different authors about that. Uh, the Secret is the big one that brought manifestation to the mainstream, I do believe. And but it was used in other places. The I can't remember the name. The Think and Grow Rich was another place it's implemented, and I read that book and I watched The Secret, and so this is kind of me thinking through that. Kind of like there's something to it. I don't know. I like to try and think of it from a brain chemistry standpoint, or like the way our minds work. See, there's also biblical references to this for those that are in that arena. And ultimately, what I found and what I think is manifestation, or the practice of manifestation, is an alternative explanation of faith. So it's almost like kind of, I want to reverse engineer what I'm trying to say and like step through this logically. Now, we know that we manipulate the world and we change the world and we can do things within the world. So, like, I want to make some money. I know there are things that I can go do to make money. Well, in essence, I decided I needed money and I said, I want to make a certain amount of money. And then my brain manifested pathways for me to go get that money. And this is the way I think actual manifestation works. Because when we break that down, your brain, my brain, makes millions of computations. Like, there's so much going on that we don't even understand. Like, right now, I'm walking. So there are tons of computations that I'm not even aware of. I'm primarily focused on this phone, but yet my peripheral is keeping a scan of the area to make sure that I am safe, or at least not going to walk out into the middle of the road. Those are calculations that are occurring without my knowledge. And that's where I think the manifestation process, that's, I think, the root of how it works. So it's, we set a goal, and then as we strive towards that goal, we constantly reinforce and remind ourselves of that goal. Our subconscious processes tend to favor us towards that goal. So we've, by keeping that goal in mind, we tip the scales in our favor, that our brains will make subconscious decisions that lead us towards that goal. uh, yeah, I mean, that's in a nutshell. But it goes deeper than that. Like, the manifestation talks about, like, you have to uh, feel like you've actually achieved what you're after. And that one's taken me a while to deduce, and I think I've just figured out exactly what's going on there. Like today, actually, I think I finally put words to it today. And what I realized is, we don't, we think we want what we want, but what we're really after is the result of what we want. So more often than not, most of our attempts to drive towards something fail because the thing we want is not actually what we wanted. We wanted the results of something we weren't willing to do. Goal setters talk about this, like, this all becomes this topic, like, he wants to be a millionaire, but you don't want to do the things that make you become a billionaire. So I would offer, you want what you think the billionaire life offers you. which would be to not do anything or to not worry about money or to be able to go buy whatever you want to buy. And it's not clear to me that that's actually what a person wants. That's what we think we want. And I think I've fallen into that trap many times. So I set this goal, and the goal is not really truthfully what I want. We have to really sit down and think hard about the specific goals that we want, and like really, like, is that really what I want, or is that what I think I want? And I mean, for me, 90% of the time, it's what I think I want. I've learned little hacks and stuff through the years to where I will, I think I want to go, I want to go buy a boat and go fishing, Well, I found like there's little hacks I can do to where I can go rent a boat and have someone take me out and see, do I actually enjoy fishing? Like we've fallen in love. I have a habitual habit of falling in love with an idea. And the idea is much better than the actual experience. But I think that's one of the key things of how can you believe and fully embody something if you've never felt that? And then if you hadn't been 100% honest with yourself about setting that goal, I think that's where we tend to sabotage ourselves when we're moving towards goals. Another area with the manifestation, that was goal setting and then the basic understanding of the manifestation. I think both of those are right. Like when you do get your goals aligned and you like fully feel it, then I think that's what we experience is the definition of faith. I believe that this outcome will come if I set my mind to it. And I have full faith that that's where I will end up. But on a more practical sense, not really manifestation, but kind of little insight into the way our brains work. I was fortunate enough to learn from an early age on that just because I go to sleep or stop messing with something doesn't mean my brain quits working. There have been many times where I was dealing with a complex problem, and then I would find something else to do, go sleep on it, or wake up the next day and I would have this new idea. Well, in the background, my brain's been steadily working on that. And we can take that information and start using it to our advantage. When we're fully focused on something, we tune our brain into working on that problem even when we're not working. The best example I have of this was back when I was in high school in the band. We do these things called clinics, and that's where you go in on a Friday night, you learn a bunch of music, and then Saturday you rehearse all the music again, and then either Saturday afternoon or the Sunday morning you perform that music. And that's a kind of a daunting task, especially when you're not that experienced with playing. And what I found was the Friday night, like I thought there's no way possible I'm ever going to learn this, I'm going to be able to do this. The notes were too fast, I couldn't get the coordination right, and went home thinking exhausted too because we put some work in, and then went home, crashed, and went back the next day. Now the amazing part was the next day I could play not everything perfectly, but I could play it effortlessly. And that's later I started using that for other things. And then later on in my career, I do a lot of technical troubleshooting. I will sleep on a problem. I'll let my brain ruminate on it and work in the background for me. I will find other things to distract my attention for a little while or key break indicators, but I keep my main focus on the problem. And that's where I think your vision boards and stuff come in. Like if we keep the thoughts at the forefront and we keep actively engaged with those thoughts, I don't think it's like say this 3 times and then I will get it. No, I think it's active engagement, constant reminders that this is what I'm moving towards. Eventually, your mind will synchronize and your subconscious decisions and your active decisions, or your subconscious decisions will make opportunities realized to you, and then your active decisions will follow those in line with your goal. The misalignment is like your goal wasn't worth keeping your attention enough. It's where you come back to that. I don't think we're 100% honest about our goals. So ultimately, that's what the purpose of the vision board is, in the daily meditations and all of these things. Is keeping your thoughts prevalent on the goal that you set for yourself. It's not about it magically disappearing. It's about aligning your life and your body and your mindset towards the goals that you said that you wanted. And once again, that comes back to take the time to set the goals that are truthful, that you like. They have to be exciting to you. They have to be something that you can constantly focus on. Like if you're constantly getting distracted from the goals, or you're constantly like a common one is, I want a better job. Okay. Well, if you're constantly complaining about your job, this job sucks. I don't want to do this. Like this guy, this work, and blah blah blah. Your thoughts are aligned with finding bad things to say about work. They're not aligned with getting out of the job. And that's the other trick of the secret, where they say the universe is indiscriminate. But I think that's your subconscious brain working based on the thoughts you're ruminating on. So I have to be very cautious there and make sure that the place we want to go stays at the forefront of the majority of our thoughts. Otherwise, we will slip in a line with the thoughts, because we will ruminate in these bad situations or the things that we don't want. And subconsciously, the brain takes over and keeps highlighting. And then that gets to the last part. Like we're pattern we're really good at pattern recognition. And this is that's patterns in human interaction pattern. It's not some like mathematician thing, right? So people that are bad at math, they'll sit there and say like, I don't even understand math, like I'm bad at that, I can't see patterns. It's like it's not math patterns, it's not geometric patterns, it's behavioral patterns. It's making meaning of our existence in a manner that we can utilize the information. So when we start focusing on bad things that misalign with our goal, what we're subconsciously doing is creating meaning and pattern out of those things. And our body's just going to continuously highlight those meanings and patterns to us. So if we only think about, oh, how much this job sucks, our brain will subconsciously prioritize showing us how much the job sucks, because that's where we've directed the conscious thought. And we can run that in reverse. We just have to be conscious of it and make it a daily practice. It's the vision boards. The vision boards be realigning. That's why it can't be a morning mantra or a simple little practice. That you have to be and embody what you say that you want it to go. Anyway, that's my take on manifestation. So ultimately, I think it's a real thing. It's just wildly misexplained by the people looking to make a quick buck about things. Anyway, thanks.